Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to GamerTube, and welcome to our What Could Be in Bendy and the Dark Revival character concept series. So in this video we'll be looking at the trailer and some stuff we see, but mainly we'll be looking into the character of the Ink Demon. So we'll go through this character's gameplay mechanics, location, and all that good stuff as well. I will just state that this is not definitive of what will actually happen in Bendy and the Dark Revival. This is just a fun what if scenario and a cool story we get to tell, and we hope you enjoy. And if you think that the gameplay and story will go in a different direction to what I say in this video, then just politely let me know in the comment section down below. And lastly, before we start today's video, do be sure to subscribe to GamerTube as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. It also keeps you up to date with all the videos that we post. Alrighty, well let's get into the character concept and what we could see from the Ink Demon. So in the newly released trailer for Bendy and the Dark Revival, we see a whole bunch of new and old characters returning for the next game. From what we can see, it seems we have the return of the Butcher Gang, multiple different lost ones, good and bad, a new large brute enemy, a strange doll-like character, a new mysterious character that might be known as Wilson, Alice Angel who's returned from the dead and returned with the classic Tommy gun. We also have Allison returning, who looks like she might be helping us through our journey once again. And then we supposedly have what looks like the original Bendy. He can be seen at the end of the trailer playing with a toy train. But as we all know, Bendy also has another version of themselves, known as the Ink Demon. The last time we've seen the Ink Demon was at the end of the first game. They transformed into their monstrous state and tried to kill the protagonist, Henry. But now we have a new protagonist in Audrey. We can see at the start of the trailer Audrey working after hours on some animation cells. I guess the studio still puts pressure and crunch on their animators even after Joey Drew had passed. We see Joey Drew Studios in its regular state, which is quite odd because it's normally viewed in its inky cartoonish style. But not long after, we see Audrey get drawn into this world and seemingly has been affected by the ink. Whether or not this is the doing of the mysterious Wilson character is unknown as of yet. But this Wilson character boasts that he is the one who killed the Ink Demon. And everyone has gone more than 200 days without the Ink Demon haunting them. But if they wanted to stay that way, they need to capture the stranger, aka Audrey, and bring her to Wilson. But something tells me that Wilson isn't telling the truth. He says he banished the Ink Demon, but it looks like this horrific creature is still haunting the halls of the studio. So this brings us to the character we're focusing on today. Out of all the many interesting characters we see in the trailer, today we'll be looking at the Ink Demon. So from what we can see of the shadow in the trailer, it seems that this version of the Ink Demon will be a spikier and more twisted version. We can see what looks to be their hand as they reach out and try to grab the player. The hand looks to be overgrown, with large inky fingers breaking through their cartoonish glove. This gameplay segment could be near the start of the game. The Ink Demon could reveal itself and chase down the player. Maybe Audrey has no weapon at this time, and her only option is to run. Allison did tell her to avoid the Ink Demon at all costs. And this just might be what Audrey has to do. The player's first interaction with the Ink Demon could be a jump scare, like when Henry first encountered the Ink Demon in the first game. This frightening interaction would of course have to happen after Audrey meets Allison Angel. As she says in the trailer, she warns Audrey about the Ink Demon.
Above everything else, stay away from the Ink Demon.
What's an Ink Demon?
He likes to smile, and he kills anything that moves.
So the Ink Demon would burst through the door and try to grab Audrey with their overgrown hand. Audrey would have to desperately run away and try to get as much distance as she can. I'd imagine when the player gets attacked by the Ink Demon, it would be an instant death. So whilst Audrey makes her way through the winding corridors with the Ink Demon hot on her trail, she would come to a dead end. In the wall would be an open air vent for her to escape through. Audrey would quickly escape through the vent and quickly escape the Ink Demon. But the Ink Demon wouldn't follow Audrey through the vent. They would just stand there staring at the player. Eventually they would walk away and go to another area close by. Whilst the player makes their way through the air vents, they can see the ink demon in the other rooms. After Audrey makes her way out of the vents, she comes to another room. In this room on the wall is an impaled lost one with the words "Demon Follower" written on the wall. It appears that any who follow the demon are being punished for doing so. Audrey would walk up to the body and grab the gent pipe that was stabbed in their torso. After some effort extracting the pipe, it would finally loosen and it breaks free. Audrey now has the gent pipe and is able to defend herself against any enemies she may encounter. But as we've seen, the gent pipe can be upgraded and used in puzzles as well. So whilst exploring numerous rooms, Audrey can also come up against some of the lost ones. These creatures are normally docile in nature, but with Wilson's orders they would be ordered to grab Audrey as well. This could also be the first encounter with them, as one of them screams, "Nobody wants you here."
No one wants you here!
These lost ones are doing as they were instructed by Wilson and trying to capture Audrey. She'll have no option but to defend herself and bludgeon them with the gent pipe. As the player swings away at all the enemies, they fight their way through the next room. At the end of the corridor, they see a door with an electronic lock and a gent breaker box close by. It seems that Audrey needs to upgrade the gent pipe in order to start the breaker box and activate the electronic lock. So now the player needs to hunt down the gent upgrade machine. After exploring a number of rooms and taking out a few more enemies, Audrey finally finds the upgrade machine. How exactly the player can upgrade the gent pipe hasn't been exactly made clear. Maybe they might need to find a number of spare parts and they can finally upgrade the pipe. We see in the trailer that the player can collect highlighted items. They might need a few of these items to get the required parts and then they can do the upgrade. The machine would attach a power pack and what looks to be some sort of shock rod to the gent pipe. Not only would this be what Audrey needs to unlock the door, but it could also greatly improve the gent pipe's attack power as well. So when Audrey finally makes it back to the door, we can see in the gameplay trailer that she appears to be in some sort of panic and rush to open the door. It isn't shown exactly what is at the end of the corridor, but in this case I believe it would be the ink demon. They've tracked down Audrey once again and now they aim to finish the job. Audrey quickly powers up the breaker box and activates the door. As the lock slowly slides open, the ink demon would be making their way towards Audrey. At the last minute, Audrey makes her way through and closes the door behind her. Finally, she escapes the clutches of the ink demon. But this definitely won't be the last time the demon appears. I'm sure later in the game, they'll appear maybe in a new location, and maybe in a brand new form as well. But until then, Audrey has a lot more that she needs to deal with as she makes her way through this cartoonish nightmare. So I'm quite excited to see the ink demon once again, and I can't wait to see what they do with this character when the game finally releases. I'm not too sure how drastically different they'll look, but I guess we'll have to wait and see until then. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the ink demon, and also what other characters you'd like to see me cover in a future video. Alrighty everyone, well, to the next video, I'll catch you later, bye.